Good afternoon, Southern California. This is 88.7, your favorite radio station in Southern California. I am your host, Andy Zubia, and what a beautiful afternoon we're having here in Los Angeles. I'm looking out actually towards the Hollywood Hills. I can see the Hollywood sign, the observatory, and it's just a fantastic day here at 88.7, your favorite FM radio station. What a fantastic day for all of you that are listening to us in Southern California, Los Angeles, San Diego, Orange County, and up towards San Francisco. We welcome you to the program. Good afternoon. Welcome once again. And also for all of you that are listening to us on the World Wide Web, all over the world, Mexico, Central, South America, Europe, Spain, welcome to the program. I am your host, Andy Zubia, and today we have a very special program. We are going to start off a series of educational programs on immigration here at 88.7. Immigration happening in America. So we want to talk a little bit about that because, as you know, there has been a immigration reform, and that's one of the hottest topics in America today. Immigration reform is at the forefront of everything that is happening, and certainly we welcome a very special guest to the program. And by the way, he's going to be doing a series of programs every week on 88.7 as education. We want to bring you the very best in not only education, but also in the law. Everything that we're going to talk about is about the law and what makes immigration move here. And also keep in mind that you're going to have the opportunity in coming weeks to be able to send us your questions via email, and Mr. Kostiv is going to be very happy to answer your particular question or questions that apply to your particular case. Because remember, every case is different, every situation is different, and it's not a one-size-fits-all, because a lot of people are confused because they say, well, I've heard that my uncle, that my aunt are going through certain situations, and those situations apply to me. That is absolutely not true. Every legal situation is different from person to person and family to family. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Petro Kostiv, attorney at law from Kostiv and Associates. Good afternoon, Petro. Welcome to the program 88.7. Thank you for being our guest. Petro.
Hi Andy, thank you so much. It's my honor to be here and to talk about immigration law, and more specifically about the topic of today, which is EB5 investment visa.
Right.
Thank you so much.
Well, you're very welcome. And Petro, thank you for being here. EB5 is one of the least understood programs in the immigration reform. EB5 has been around since the 1990s, and a lot of people are not familiar with EB5, with the components of the law, and with the certain aspects of EB5. Why don't we just start the program by just touching upon some of the highlights of EB5 and how people from all over the world can take this opportunity to get a green card.
EB5 is a kind of visa where you invest $1 million in the United States economy and you get a green card. If you invest less, it can be $500,000 if you invest in an area with a high unemployment rate. In order to get your visa, you have to be approved by the immigration department, and then you get 2-year residency. If your business stays alive for those 2 years, you end up getting permanent residency to live in the United States. Is to invest $500,000 or $1 million, depends where, in which part of the United States you making the investment, and critically, you have to create 10 full-time jobs. These are two major requirements. And of course, in addition to that, you have to show that your money are coming from legal sources, they're not money laundering or any of this. And if you can show these three requirements, major requirements, then you can be approved for the EB5 visa.
Well, thank you very much for that information, Petro. And certainly EB5 is a perfect strategy, a perfect, let's say, recipe for a person or a family to actually invest in the United States and, like you said, hire 10 people. And this is a 2-year process. And then, of course, they get the permanent residency. Let me ask you a question. Just as a point of thought, is Los Angeles a $500,000 city or a $1 million city?
It's an interesting question because you would always think LA is such a rich city with Beverly Hills, Hollywood, Malibu, but surprisingly, LA is considered an area with very high unemployment rate because we do have a lot of unemployment in Los Angeles in certain parts. But you cannot separate these spots, like Beverly Hills versus some parts with with a lot of unemployment. So LA is considered area with high unemployment rate, and 500,000 is sufficient to be considered for EB5 visa. But you still have to create 10 jobs, even with 500,000 investment.
Absolutely. And Petro, the investment in the United States is not limited to California or any particular state. It could be any state in the United States, correct?
EB5, it's immigration program. It is a federal program. You can invest in any part of the United States from Alaska to Miami, and it is considered 100% valid.
Hawaii and Puerto Rico as well?
It's also considered valid for the purposes of EB5 visa.
Great. So thank you for that, Petro. Now let me ask you a question. Let's talk about the law portion of it. There is an application process, so take us through that step by step.
There is an application process. First, an applicant has to submit I-526, which is the major form to get approved for EB5. It's a very short form, but there are a lot of attachments go with it. The most important part of this, you have to attach a valid, very detailed business plan, which will show how you're gonna invest money, how you're gonna create 10 jobs, and how this business will last for at least 2 years, so you can get a permanent residency in the United States. So after you get approved by this, for this application, then if you're in the United States, if you're already in America, you get temporary green card for 2 years. Or if you're outside of the United States, then you have to go to the embassy of the United States in your country, and they give you also, permanent, temporary green card. So after this, you have to work for 2 years, and you can later file a different form. In that form, you have to show that you have complied with all the requirements. Again, that you still have 10 employees working full-time, that your business is still existing, it hasn't, filed for bankruptcy, or, this hasn't disappeared. And if you can show that your business is still on, the government gives you permanent residency to stay in this country, which opens a lot of doors for you.
Excellent. So the time period between the application and the temporary residence, what would you estimate that time frame to be, Petro?
I would say approximately 6 to 9 months.
That's a very short period of time.
I
mean, 6 to 9 months is fantastic.
It's very good.
What an incredible opportunity. For some of the listeners that just tuned in, we have in the studio Petro Kostiv, attorney at law, and we're talking about the EB5 program for getting a permanent resident visa in the United States. For some of you that are just tuning in, welcome to the program. I am your host, Andy Zubia, and in our studio is Petro Kostiv, attorney at law, with a law firm of Kostiv and Associates. We're very fortunate, Petro, that we're here in Los Angeles, which is a tremendous melting pot of different cultures from all over the world. We have Chinese, we have Japanese, Korean, Filipino, Mexican, Central, South American, we have European, people from Kazakhstan, the Ukraine, and Russia. What an incredible melting pot Los Angeles is. And you and I can certainly understand the dynamics of what goes into an EB5 program, where we're actually getting people together with their own cultures here. I mean, if let's say that a client from the Ukraine comes to America, or from Russia, or from the Philippines, they're going to come together and blend in with their own community, blend in with Filipinos, with Russian, with Central and South Americans. So Los Angeles is a perfect place, as is other parts of the nation like Houston, Dallas, Miami, Chicago, New York. This is an incredible opportunity, don't you think?
It's absolutely right. I mean, EB5 visa can indirectly impact families, because through EB5 visa you can not only get an opportunity of investing in business, creating your own business, you have an opportunity to bring all your family, because if you get approved for EB5 visa, you bring your wife and your children along. They automatically are eligible to get temporary and then permanent residency to live in this country, and of course that bestows a lot of additional benefits, such as opportunity to study in this country, to open new businesses, to marry, to do whatever you want to do in this country with so many opportunities.
And of course, one of the biggest components of the EB5 program through the law firm of Kostiv and Associates is that we're going to help these applicants every step of the way, from the initial application process with the immigration authorities. You're going to do all of the legal representation. You're going to go before the immigration court. You're actually going to be able to help these people out with setting up the businesses, hiring the people. It's basically a turnkey operation, and if they want to buy a piece of property or investment property, like say a 10-unit apartment building or a 20-unit apartment building, and they want to invest further past the EB5 program, then Kostiv and Associates would be in a position to do that, correct?
That's exactly right. We are connected with a lot of people that know how to create businesses, that have created businesses in the Los Angeles area and all over the United States. And we also have a very good relationship with regional EB5 Regional Centers, which is very important to mention, because, for example, if you want to invest in the United States but you do not want to actively manage your business, you can invest in what is called EB5 Regional Center. It's a place that does create 10 jobs for you, that does make sure that your business, that the business survives for 2 years. And so this is a very convenient way to get residency without being very actively involved in the business.
Petro, thank you for that. I want to give our listeners all over the world a very important case study. We're going to talk a little bit about an article that came out in the Los Angeles Times. So we're talking about an article that came out in the major metropolitan city of Los Angeles, and this involved a businessman, an entrepreneur by the name of Sam Nazarian, who owns a hotel here on La Cienega, who has different nightclubs and restaurants, and he had a hotel in Las Vegas, and he needed funding for the casino hotel, and he was actually able to raise $800 million through the EB5 program. So this is one example of the power that EB5 has and the opportunity that are available to investors all over the world, because you can invest in large-scale projects like shopping centers, commercial buildings, new construction, and that's a perfect fit because you're already hiring 10, 20, 30, 40 people, and it's a long-term project. And I was blown away by that article on Sam Nazarian, who was actually able to raise $800 million plus in EB5 for the Sahara Hotel and Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. And as you know, Las Vegas is one of the most vibrant cities in the world, and we get millions of visitors to Las Vegas, Nevada, and certainly we can also offer the EB5 program. So if somebody wants to come to Las Vegas, invest, live, have their children go to school, this is a perfect opportunity. Not only Las Vegas, we offer Los Angeles, San Francisco, San Diego, New York, Chicago, Miami, Dallas, Houston. So basically, it's a rainbow of opportunity. It's a rainbow of cities, and it's a turnkey operation because we offer the immigration paperwork, we offer the law, the appearances in court, the real estate acquisition, the business acquisition, the hiring of the employees, and certainly we could also talk a little bit about the accounting part of it, because we're in a position to be able to help them with the accounting part of it as well, correct?
That's exactly right. It's accounting is very important for this because you want to make sure that you have to show after 2 years that your business is doing well and that you're complying with all IRS laws, and accounting is crucial for the success, for the legal success of your business, for your getting a permanent residency in 2 years.
So I think that the very first step, if somebody out there listening wanted to just try to determine what is the first step in the process, I guess the first step in the evolution is to contact the law offices of Kostiv and Associates. Why don't you give them your office number, your phone number here for the law firm in Los Angeles, so if they have any questions, they can talk to you directly.
Yes, my office is open Mondays through Saturday. My phone number is 213 area code, and it's 369-3015. Again, 213-369-3015, and we'll be more than welcome to talk to you about your business plans, about your immigration ambitions, your business ambitions, and we will help you accomplish all your goals in the United States.
Sure. One other thought, Mr. Kostiv, why don't you give our listeners your email address in case they want to drop you an email?
It's Petro, Petro, period, Kostiv at KostivLaw.com.
Would you repeat that again, please?
It's Petro, period, Kostiv at KostivLaw.com. It's my personal email, and I will respond to you as soon as I get your email and I have time.
Well, it's very important to understand that the most important strategy in the EB5 program for our listeners is information. Perfect legal information is the key component. And I'm sure that there are going to be a lot of questions that you're going to have that need to get answered. So the first step in the evolution of you applying for the EB5 program is to contact the law offices of Petro Kostiv and Associates and actually talk to Mr. Kostiv directly and get your questions answered. He will answer all of your questions so that you can make an informed decision. And that way, with the facts and, of course, the legal part of it explained to you, you can decide if the EB5 program is right for you. In the next series of programs on 88.7, we're going to touch a little bit on the steps, the application process, what are some of the fundamentals in the application process, what you as an interested party in obtaining an EB5 visa would need to do to start preparing your paperwork so that we can proceed along and get your applications started. We welcome all of you that have questions or that maybe have wanted to apply for an EB5 visa but did not have an avenue, did not have an attorney. We welcome you to absolutely contact the law offices of Petro Kostiv and Associates and start the paperwork, start the EB5 process. We are here to serve you. We are here to work with you, and we are here to answer all of your questions. Once again, Mr. Kostiv, thank you for being on the program. In the next weeks coming, we are going to share with our listeners part of the application process, the fundamentals of immigration law. We're going to go back in history when the EB5 program was initiated, when it started, what was the actual genesis of the EB5 program. So we're going to go back in time, explain to you all of the details how EB5 got started. We're going to talk to you about some incredible case studies that have been very, very successful. We are going to share with you some links so that you can actually start to do some let's say analysis or research yourself, because Mr. Kostiv, we're going to be putting up information on your website, and we're going to be having a blog that's going to be talking about the EB5 program and the different components, and we're actually going to have a forum on your blog where people can actually post questions, and we're going to have a family. We're going to call it our EB5 family. So it'll be an opportunity for all of you to come together with us and create a family of EB5 clients. We're going to share with you successes. We're going to share with you some of the people that are going to be applying with us and some of the people that are going to be taking advantage of this wonderful opportunity. Certainly, it is always going to be with their permission. So we will get their permission, and we will make sure that they're comfortable doing that. And also, Mr. Kostiv, we are going to be inviting some EB5 applicants into the radio station and hearing their story, because I'm sure that a lot of people have hopes and dreams. And we will interview people from Mexico, Central South America, from Russia, the Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and we're going to actually invite them to call in from their respective countries to talk to us. That's going to be phenomenal, don't you think?
That's right, and I would also like to mention that our law firms, we speak 6 languages: Russian, Ukrainian, Spanish, Portuguese, and Polish, and therefore language is not a barrier for us, and that is actually one of the reasons why we chose our concentration to be EB5, because we can effectively communicate with the big part of the world.
And we also have translation services in Chinese, Tagalog, right? And Vietnamese. We actually have an incredible associate that works with us, and he is actually going to be our representative in Vietnam. And his name is Leo, just so that you can start to get to know him. We'll talk more about him later. And one of these days, we're going to have Leo talking to our Vietnamese family in Vietnam and the world over. So, you know, we basically have a rainbow of languages in your offices, Mr. Kostiv. That is so fantastic, because we're actually bringing Korean, Chinese, Japanese, Filipino. This is going to be fantastic. Thank you so very much for being on the program. We certainly appreciate it. Once again, I'm Andy Zubia, your host at 88.7 FM. For all of you who were listening to the program, we thank you very much. We welcome your comments. Please give Mr. Kostiv a call if you have any questions or comments. And what a fantastic show, Mr. Kostiv. You are a true professional. I love your voice, okay? You have a deep baritone kind of a voice, and I absolutely love it. So thank you once again for being on the program. Why don't you say a few words to our audience of your experience here in the program, and then, of course, till next time, right?
Yeah, thank you so much. It was my big pleasure to share this first dialogue to all our EB5 brothers and sisters, and I'm looking forward to be talking to you next time, and we'll be talking about more details this time, and about the process, and like Andy said, about the history. And thank you so very much, and until next time.
Thank you so much. And just one last thought before we leave the program. We want to say, well, actually, we want to send a shout out and a hello to one of our associate companies in Hollywood, California. We'll be talking about that company in the near future, and the opportunities that this company is going to be offering our EB5 brothers and sisters throughout the world. We have some very, very special surprises. We have some actual companies that you can absolutely take advantage of and take an opportunity to invest in this country, and then we'll be talking about those in future broadcasts. Once again, I'm Andy Zubia, your host. Thank you for tuning in to the Petro Kostiv and Associates program, and this is our time to wish you a great afternoon. 88.7 FM. Thank you for listening, and till next time, be well.